Ryan, is it possible to make the screen larger? For some reason, it looks off.
It's in 150%.
Is it?
So is it your screen zoomed out?
Yeah.
How's it look for everyone else?
Yeah, it looks good to me.
Okay. So yep. I have made it zoom in. Okay. So everyone, hello everyone. Thanks for joining today, June 28th. This is a one-off MicroProfile working group discussion. There are two topics on the agenda. One is the compatibility program and the other one is the budget. Please, someone share the minutes so that if you're here, write down your name. And let's start. Ryan is sharing the screen and we have things to show you. And this is about the compatibility design that we have at Mark. And now we need to decide how to push it forward so that we can conclude with one design. Go ahead, Ryan, and thank you.
All right. I'm just making sure I'm not muted. Nope. Okay. So as we talked about in other meetings, we came up with 4 possibilities for the compatibility logo. I put together a presentation, or more of a way that it shows each logo represented in different media. So one version is full color, which should be about 2, including plus white. Second version is only white. And third, and then the other 2 visuals you'll see are how they could be represented on a website, possibly. So you kind of see the scalability of each logo. I'll just go through them real quick. We don't need to take too much time. And then after this, we should decide how we'd like to send out the voting and how we would like to do it. This is option 1. So you come through here. Here's a full color, only white, how it could be represented on a website with only white, and how it could be represented with full color. It's good to have these different options because certain companies' websites might want a one color, might want a full color. We could also do I guess a black, only black, if we really feel it's needed.
Yeah. So one thing to keep in mind is when our trademark office registers trademarks, they register the black and white ones.
Okay, good to know.
So that would be good from a registration perspective.
Oh, they only register the black and the white, the black ones, or all of them?
They register the black and white ones, and my understanding is that gives us derivative rights to use them in any color.
Okay, so then it would be like capital letters, like when we send trademarks, all of it is capital letters, and you're saying the black is a must.
Yeah. So I think if you just inverted the
yeah, it's 2 clicks.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
Perfect. Thank you, Paul.
And the other thought too is shipping over your candidates to the trademark office just for an early peek. I doubt there's going to be a problem, but just shooting them over there and saying, got any input for us.
Sounds good.
Okay.
So you mean, Paul, that we can already send the Git issue that we have at Mark and send it to you with you and that private trademark email, and that needs to be done before we submit this for community vote. Is that the process?
It's up to you. I mean, I suspect, I'm not a trademark person, but given that this looks a lot like the MicroProfile logo, which I believe is already registered, it's probably gonna be fine. But yeah, just the sooner you ship them over, the better. And
would this PDF be okay?
I suspect so. Yeah, let's start there. Yeah, sure, let's start there. Absolutely.
Okay. Perfect. So we just email over the PDF.
Yeah.
Cool. But I understand the feedback, Paul. However, I'm concerned that we will invest resources on asking you and your team to do work when we have 5 different logos. I have seen no issues with the logos as I compare with what is out there in the community, because that is what we did while going through each of the Git issues when submitted. So I would like for us to wait until the winner, so that not only do we minimize costs, but also that when we ask for help, it's on one and not on all. Because I'm concerned that we do have 40,000 in the mark, and that could be spent. But if we can avoid the expenditure, that's better. And that is like my wish. And I'm not sure I can be overwritten by everyone else that might think, hey, you know, we can do it now, but I don't believe it necessary. But I do like that if someone wanted, they could do it if they don't have the practice that we have from previous work.
Well, I guess it's up to you. If you get down to 2, if you're at 5, that sounds like too many. But if you're down to 2 or 1, then you can decide when you want to ship it over, and we'll work with it.
Thank you so much, Paul. And can you write down, because the Clips Foundation has changed many emails. If you can write in the minutes the email that we should use, we will add it into our contacts and have it ready. And you will always be CC'd on those ones with Sharon, I imagine, or do you want only you to be CC'd on those ones? Because we will use the working group and then BCC you or CC you. I have no idea if we need to go private in this.
All right, I got an action.
All right, let us know.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right, go ahead, Ryan. Thank you.
So version 2, I won't really get too descriptive on it, but it follows the same patterns: full color, white, and then how it could be represented on the same websites.
Ryan, can you please show how you have it in the website? What I see doesn't show really the website style, but if you can make that super large so that we can see the applicability to it, that would be nice.
I guess, yeah. I mean, everyone that's going to vote is going to probably download the PDF, but there you are. But like I said, it'll be represented differently on every website, depending on where the company wants to put it.
What I was talking about is like the website side. Here it says Kumulitsu and it's blue, right? So then I wanted you to please show us that website, like, you know, the screenshot of that website so we can see the applicability.
It is right here.
Yeah, but can you make it larger? You can barely see it, right? Larger, only that page.
Like this.
Yes.
Okay. Like I said, anyone that's going to vote, I suggest downloading the PDF and taking a look.
So in this one, I have feedback, and this is what I wanted to give in this call that is recorded. When we go into the website, and this one is blue, you cannot see it through the eyes, right? Like,
What do you mean?
It means you're not making it so I can only see the website, Ryan, but this website is blue, right? And we're using the white type. So now I'm thinking what Paul said, black might work better for this website and instead of.
I don't think so.
Why?
I think white stands out way more than black on this light blue.
Does it?
Yeah, and it's up to the companies anyways.
Yeah, we don't control it.
I think, Amelia, what Paul said, when you register black and white, but we can use some other colors. So presumably, like Ryan will have a different color, like this blue and orange.
I mean, you could do a one color blue, but the MicroProfile blue, or maybe a one color yellow. That's the MicroProfile yellow, but I wouldn't go for random colors at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Blue or yellow.
I mean, sticking to the colors. If we want to have a wide variety, we can.
But so far, yeah. But so far,
I personally would stick to simple because white will go with everything. But it's up to you guys.
Right.
What the community wants.
Okay, so then that means that we do have flexibility on colors aside from black and white and what we see here. But we do want to keep it, like you said, Ryan, simple.
Yeah.
Like, because we will have to write the new 1 or 2 pages in the trademark hemp book, and we need to recommend the usage, right? And that will, I believe, in a little bit of less flexibility to say.
Well, that's why I suggest maybe not having even too many colors, like even the yellow, because I mean, white and a full color and a black one.
Yeah, 3
are scalable for people's websites. But if you start throwing in different colors, then they might apply it to their website and it looks poorly or whatnot. So
yeah, that is the conversation I wanted to have. Like, do we agree that it's better to limit it? Now we have 1 extra color, black, but I will be a +1 on limitation to up to 3 because we will have to write it on the handbook?
I mean,
Yeah, I
you know,
think yeah, like a 3 or 4 is fine, but not too many. I
Yeah.
think it's yeah.
Ed, do you have any feedback on this? How do you feel about 3, maximum 4 colors?
Simpler is better.
Simpler is better. Manish, you are here. How do you feel about simplicity? Oh, Manish might not be able to tackle today. Neha, how do you feel about?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I second that. I really like that.
I also agree. Yeah.
All right, John.
Yeah, I echo Ed. Simpler is better.
Okay, Ryan, let's keep it simple to black, white, and what was blue, right?
well, it's full color, black, white, and we could choose blue. It's but
Yeah,
it'd
we
just be like this pretty much.
Mhm.
Top one.
Yeah, yellow will be too light in the eyes, but I would say blue. Black, white, blue. That's it.
Full
Okay,
color.
we
Okay.
have decided the colors. Ryan, continue.
I think for the 3 options, once we choose which one we are going to have, like once is have done the like trademark black and white, and then like we do say, okay, which varieties do we want? We can fine tune that later if we want.
Sure.
Well,
But now we focus on what kind of black and white option you want. Because
Well,
we register
3
that.
colors isn't bad, is it? I mean, 3 colors is still simple. That's what we have right now, right?
Yeah, 3 colors, blue,
Right.
white, and we didn't have black, but Ryan, let's play black based on the feedback.
Well, I'm not going to do black for the presentation because.
No. This-
But yes, when the final stuff comes, whatever's decided, we can do a black one.
Yeah, we need to send the black one when the winner
Okay.
happens. All right.
Yeah, so basically what I'm trying to say is we can just focus on picture is black and white, the shape, focus more on the shape, and then we can agree on the color later.
Well, not really. I think you should just focus on what's on the page now because it's a full colors branded to MicroProfile, and it's not, those can't change. And the
In-
most widely used is going to be this full color and a white.
So in this case, I would like to say MicroProfile compatible all in one color instead of MicroProfile the white. Compatible is yellow.
Oh, okay, but this, we can go to more details when something's chosen.
Yes.
Yeah,
will-
so that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying that like the fine tune bit we can do later.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think when we have the winner, we will go into high-end detail to make it amazing. And clearly
Yes.
it can always be improved, but we need to, we will not do that work. That is too much time. And we don't want to waste the time on that one. So we will do
Yeah,
all the
exactly.
cleanup later.
That's what I'm suggesting. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay,
Warren,
cool.
All right, version 3. It's still following the same patterns as the other one. Full color, white, and then represent on each page. Version 4, also similar to the one before, just a little bit more vertical. And then version 5 is here. This one, I would bring up one issue that I have so far with it for scalability is, well, low res. And I wrote Emerson in his ticket that we do need it to be able to be black, a single color. And right now there's many colors, lots of shades of gray and in this tack area and also on the fold. So I don't know. It's up to you guys to discuss it, but everyone what they think. But some changes need to happen with this one for it to be scalable later, I believe.
I think the pin is strange.
Excuse me?
I said the pin that on top of the M, that what is the tag.
It's like a sticky note stuck on the
Yeah,
wall.
sticky
kinda.
note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or well, with a pin.
I know that you're communicating with Emerson on this one. And Emerson is not here. We can provide I recommend, and I would like for us to provide feedback on Emerson's tickets, because I do have some feedback on this ticket now that we are here. And I think the feedback should go into the ticket. How do we feel about, if Emily, you have some feedback on this. Do you feel that you could give that feedback directly in the tickets for like recommendations on how to improve it or something like this?
Yeah, I think the first one I would like my personal, this is my person. I would like to see this tag removed.
Yes, that is my feedback too, but we have not gotten to this call yet. So now we can be in the final process of saying, hey, will you be able, how do you feel about this? Clearly the author has created these things and he's eager to receive much more feedback aside from what Brian has provided, but we need to do so immediately. That means that he has enough time to go and change or consider the change. He can say no, and this is why, and then we can move forward, right? The community will decide. But the difference between this design and the design the Atlanta JAG, the events submitted is, Ryan, can you show that design? That one was not
I don't have that ticket open right now.
Just go to the Git issues, and then you will see it under the marketing.
I mean, we could just say that it went against the trademark branding of the logo because it manipulated the M. So
Yeah.
that's why it didn't work, because it was manipulating the M to not be an M anymore.
Yes, it had two M's colliding between each other to create the logo, and that doesn't work. In trademarks, we can't cut it this way formally for a formal design. We can play with a bunch of other things, websites and things like that, but not for the original, the formal design. So that one was not accepted, but all of the other ones were accepted as part of the competition.
Okay, I will place the Emerson. Why is my screen not working? Am I frozen?
We can hear you, Ryan.
Okay. Oh, sorry, I had a pop-up for Slack, or not Slack, Zoom. I will place this into the notes so you all can get it and make whatever comments you'd like. You will also find in the GitHub all the other tickets with all the other logos if you want to make any comments. But that's it. That's all of them.
All right. Questions for Ryan, please. This is the time.
Okay.
Ed, do you have questions? You wanted to talk?
No, I'm good. Thanks. Sorry.
Okay.
I have one point in that that we do collect fully registered logos in the artwork folder. So when we are done, we'll put the trademarks that are registered or ultimately will be registered into the artwork page, as we do with all the rest of the logos.
Oh, okay, Paul, is it possible for you to share that link into the minutes, please? And say,
Oh, sure. Yep, I'll do that. And I put it in that spreadsheet that we looked at 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll drop it into the minutes as well.
Thank you. And
No
thank you for
problem.
joining today. Okay, so can you, Ryan, you're sharing. Can you share the agenda again?
Sure.
I will share. I was out of video. Thank you so much. So then we go into how do we, well, okay, last week during the MicroProfile community call, we were not able to show and tell what we have thus far. So that needs to happen next week, right? We need to do that kind of step before we go into a vote. However, we need to decide maybe this week or during this call, or we can brainstorm, how do we want to get the vote out? Do we want to make it public for everyone to vote, or do we want to keep it restricted to the forum? We have a little bit over 1,200 subscribers. Some of them are inactive, but some are active. When we chose the current logo of MicroProfile in the summer of 2017, we restricted it, and I'm not sure if, John, do you remember? We restricted it so that it would go only to our community, right? When we worked on the Jakarta logo, we went and opened it to the world because it's Jakarta EE and it's an 18 years old, you know, technology, and we wanted everyone, no matter where you were, to be able to vote. So we got 7,000, almost 7,000 votes on that one. And for the community, and look at in what it is, MicroProfile, it's small because we wanted niche, right? The question is, how much bandwidth do we want? Who do we want it to choose the compatibility logo?
All right. Well, so my opinion is the MicroProfile community, right? It's a reason for people to get involved, right, and join if they're interested.
I agree with you, but what about Emily? What about Manish, Neha, Edwin?
I second John. Yeah.
Me too.
Okay, Ed. We lost Ed.
No,
How
I'm
do-
here.
Uh-huh.
I like the community. I don't want to count them all though.
Okay,
Well, that's the thing is based on what Ed just said. I started thinking about it. It's like, well, how do we know? Right? It can't be a doodle poll, right?
no,
So
We
the
can just
other
post it
thing,
as a message on the group, and people either have to respond 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 or whatever, and then people just someone has to count it.
Can you
Survey
use
Monkey?
Yeah.
yeah, we SurveyMonkey, we did that. We're doing that with the TCK and the Jakarta EE10 with the straw polls. And the
Survey
Jakarta,
Monkey would be best, I think.
what is it?
so
Survey Monkey would be best because
Yeah.
Can it be constrained to just members of a community? How do
I
you
think-
constrain it?
Because they need to verify the email, and then we need to go and see if that person is actually a member of the working group. It will take a little bit of work.
right, does it matter? So basically,
I mean,
we just want to get people's voice. They basically encourage them to join. So basically, it's kind of the like if they are not in a Google group, invite them to join. If we advertise this one in a Google group, and I think that we reach people who are in the Google group.
Mhm.
And also I tweet about it and then tweet the link to the Google group. If people trying to like access it, they will join the Google group, I think. But
So-
this is one thing. The other thing is how did the Jakarta logo being decided? The compatible logo? How did
So,
it do it?
so how do we do it? We did it like this. We decided that we wanted first the community to get the name of the Jakarta of Java EE. So we wrote blogs explaining the two choices. There were many choices, but 2 were the last ones. And we wrote a blog, and then we pushed it, right? Like I said, I think that we did it, and then we just pushed it. It's like the community, right? It's not just a company. That was agreed by the members. And then once the community chose the name, in the marketing committee, what we did was,
I think, Amelia, my question is about Jakarta compatible logo. It's not
Yes.
like the Jakarta
yeah,
name.
no, because both
Oh,
of them are
okay.
related. So then after the name was chosen, we could choose the compatibility. One thing that we did with Jakarta is that we decided, because the technology was 18 years old, we decided that we needed it to be everything in the community, pushed to the community. That included the member logo and the compatibility logo. So then we pushed it via the channels, and we used the Eclipse Foundation tooling for the vote.
Can't we use a similar thing using Eclipse Foundation tooling?
We could, I believe so, but I think that the SurveyMonkey might work better for us because we want to verify who are the voters. We are saying in this call that we want to close it to our community. And for that to happen, we need to manage the vote. We need total control to the vote, which I agree.
I mean,
What-
I wouldn't be too worried about, a bunch of people sneaking in and voting that aren't members.
but one vote change, one vote matters.
Sure.
If,
Okay.
if they vote, that means they care about it, right? So
Good,
it's,
Hey, Paul has his hand raised.
Paul, go ahead.
Someone actually used that feature.
You
I
think?
have
Go
to
ahead,
remember
Paul.
Sorry.
So, just, it may not be an idea or not, but since Sharon did the committer election, I wonder if you could reuse that for this election by just adding in any steering committee members or other members that you wanted to be eligible for the vote.
We don't know, Paul, that's a great idea, but we don't want to limit it. We don't want to choose the people that gets to vote. This is
Okay,
why,
fair enough. Okay, then if you do want to constrain it to just the committers and the those that are formerly members of the community, that would be a way to do it. But if you don't, then it's not.
Paul, we're going to do that. We're going to take you on it for the member logo, because on the member logo, my bias is that usually the city committee, the committers
Okay.
are the ones to vote. So we want that choice.
Okay, so there will be a member logo. Okay, good to know.
Yes, we need that, but it's not going to happen now. That is a little bit more restricted. This one is community oriented. Yeah. All right, thanks Paul, for raising your hand.
What's a member logo? Sorry.
A while back, last summer, when we were working on creating the working group, we many times it was discussed that we need the compatibility logo and the members logo. Sometimes a member is a part of the working group that would be like a committer, but that committer, for example, or a guest member will not get compatible, will never reach compatibility because it doesn't have the implementations or the whatever it is. So that kind of member needs a logo that can be used as a, hey, I am a member. It can be in like little website or things like that, and it can be unrestricted. That means we have not designed or limit who gets to use the compatible logo, right? Are we saying this is another discussion that I wanted to push today, and it's not for decision because that it needs to come into the steering committee and maybe the community as a whole. But John, back me on this if I'm incorrect. We have yet to decide who will get to use, without getting into trouble, the compatibility logo. Are those only listed as paying members, or are those like cumulative implementations that are not part of the working group, but they are implementers, right? And we need to decide, yes, we want to protect our community and you are an implementer. You don't need to be a part of the working group, but you can reach compatibility, and that is okay. But it's a discussion not for this group to decide, but we as a community need to decide how to define compatibility. We haven't done so yet, and this goes beyond code. John, am I correct on this, or did I miss the mark on anything we have discussed since last year?
Well, this gets back to compatible implementation license,
Yes.
right?
No,
So
no,
yeah,
no,
we
no,
probably
no,
do need.
Nope.
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 All right.
The compatible patent option has to do with the patent rights that
That's what I
flow.
meant.
The
Right.
usage of the compatibility logo and requirements are described in the Jakarta, in the MicroProfile trademark guidelines.
Yes.
That's currently been drafted in conjunction with the MicroProfile trademark license agreement, which the Eclipse Foundation is drafting on behalf of the working group.
Correct. And Paul, thank you so much for clarifying that, because they MicroProfile chose the implementation patent. And John, what we're talking about is the discussion is in the trademark, we have yet to decide who gets to use the compatible logo. We just copy and paste much of the information from the Jakarta side. In the Jakarta side, a member cannot be compatible if it's not a member of the working group. MicroProfile, is it true, Paul?
Well, so here's the situation. I'll come off.
Go ahead.
So people can make factual claims. So an implementer of the MicroProfile specifications could download the TCK for the platform spec, run the TCK, and make a factual statement. I'm compatible with the specification, and I've done so by running the TCK and being in compliance with the TCK license agreement. So they can make factual statements. They can't, however, use your MicroProfile compatibility logo. The MicroProfile compatibility logo rights to use that are this combination of the trademark guidelines and the trademark license agreement. That's how you get permission to use it. And in the case of Jakarta, in order to use the logo, you need to be a member of the working group. That
Yeah.
said, anyone can make claims of factual claims of compatibility if they pass the tests and display their results publicly as per the TCK license.
Yes, so thank you so much for confirming, but also explaining it so nicely, Paul. It's kind of nice that, okay, so in one of the differences in Jakarta, in the Jakarta group, the steering committee chose this pattern. Doesn't mean that in MicroProfile we have to do that, right? One thing that, because Jakarta chose that pattern, when the compatibility member reaches, the implementation reaches the compatible TCK, it gets pushed into a Git issue and then traceable and added into the website. In MicroProfile, we need to decide, literally decide what goes so that we can go into the trademarks that we have currently standing that are linked to the work with the design, compatibility design, and decide how is the logo going to be used, because the trademark in that section has not been completed because we don't have the logo yet and we don't have the discussion. So John, that's this, I think this is a good summary on, we have not talked about who gets to decide, right? Here, we can say, I would like X, but I don't think this code is enough for us to decide how to rewrite that section. And that is, Manish, that is the part in the trademark that I told you a while back, months ago, that we needed to work. When we work on the compatibility, we will decide in one entire paragraph how to define the usability. And we will do that together, like all of us, once we're done.
Yeah, I think that decision needs to be made by the working group,
Correct.
MicroProfile working, but certainly we should discuss it beforehand and then
Yes.
go through a vote.
Correct. And that is a plan for next week. We planned to do that on Tuesday to Ryan to present this. And then I pushed for the, hey, this is the kind of conversation, and we don't rush it. You need to think about it. For instance, I'm going to be biased. I would love, you know, for someone like Kumulutsu or another members that are not currently members to be able to say they are compatible, to be able to be listed in the website should they go and, you know, should they be a member of the, I don't know if there are limitations where they need to be a paying member of the Eclipse Foundation. So then we need to figure out what are the minimum requirements that that member needs to do, right? And I'm not going to put Paul in the spot on this because it is something that is worth discovering, and we can send messages in the working group and ask these questions so that when we discuss this with the community, we have as much information for Q&A. Ed, am I missing something on this? Because this is about research and what comes next.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you were saying. I was out. Sorry, I was trying to type a question into the chat for later.
You have a question?
Just, it has nothing to do with this topic. I don't want to stop this discussion. I'll ask it later.
Okay.
Amelia, one thing to think about, and for everybody on the call to think about, is Jakarta's got 2 levels of membership. Well, it's got more than 2 levels, but it's got participants and strategics. And it does have the requirement to be a member in order to use the logo. We are seeing that you know, quite a healthy number of organizations are joining at the participant level, which has substantially, the fees are substantially lower. So the barrier to actually use the logo isn't proving to be, so far really hasn't proven to be an insurmountable gate, i.e. to join the working group, because they could join as a participant and be a member of the working group and get listed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't want to consume. You're right on that one, including JAGS, Paul. The thing is that the Jakarta project has a membership, a partnership, a membership that is the participants. They can be 0 cost, depending if the organization matches the requirements, the 2 requirements. In MicroProfile, we decided that every single member will have to pay no matter what. We don't have a 0 membership, and I don't think like the discussion is about changing it. So hold on, Ed, you're saying something. Let me see it. No, Ed, next week is going to be a regular meeting, and we can add something in this, but this is not going to rule next week. Next
When
week.
do
is
you
a
guys
regular-
take the 4th of July off?
Yeah, most of us are, but the role continues to go. We have European microprofilers and from Latin
Yeah,
America
good,
and Central
good.
America, and
Wow.
Africa and India. So the call continues. Mhm. Yeah. Ed, did I answer your question? I'm not going to be here next week. Neha is not going to
Yes,
be.
you did. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, but other members will be moving forward the call. Yeah. So where were we? Ed, we got sidetracked here. I
So-
understand now.
So I think is for the what further to what Paul suggested, the participant membership. I think we did discuss it. Maybe it's the time to revisit it since this logo thing. And for participate, maybe it's a kind of the great way to grow the community. Basically, it's because it's zero entry. However, like we can advertise it. We can say, okay, this Cumulus EE joined as a participant member,
No,
but
no.
they have nothing to lose though.
The thing is that we created the guest membership, which means they can
Maybe
use.
guest memberships. then.
Yeah, you're forgetting that when we discussed the membership levels, first those calls were private and then they went public once we were like a little bit more cemented. And one of the things that happened is that the guest membership is the one qualified to be on invite only a year, and it would authorize anyone to use that. So we have implementations that are not members right now, because it's maybe even 1,500 plus the 1,000 euros the Eclipse Foundation is too much. So then the 2,000, you're talking 2,000 euros for the membership and 1,500 for the call it enterprise or whatever you call it, that corporate, is too much. So then when that happens and they are willing to join with no vote, they can use the guest. So this is fixed. We don't have to do any changes. It is just that the community as a whole has to decide how do we use the compatible logo. And this is important, and we will push it forward in the community call next week. Mhm.
Okay,
John,
I think it's nice to list a few options.
Yeah,
basically,
absolutely.
and discuss. Like one is kind of limited to the members. 2 is available to all. 3 is the kind of the join as a participant. 4 is the kind of the guest members. Basically, it's we should have a few more choices. Can discuss.
Yeah, the participants do get a vote. They get to be elected. It's just a different thing. It will change totally the structure, and clearly you can bring it up and openly discuss. We discuss everything, but that needs to happen in the community call, and then we go through the community forums and discuss. Not for this call. We will not make the decision here.
No.
John, you wanted anything? Yeah, you have to go. Okay, John has to go. So then we are saying that here we're going to write that we decide that we want to keep the vote for our community. That will be for the forum. And then we can use survey market on something, and we will corroborate. I think the way to do the voting is to validate the emails. Your email needs to be the one used for the community forum, and then that's it. And a few of us can do the editing at a later point. I don't think that it's going to take a lot of work because not everyone votes, right? But we want a lot of people to vote, but let's see what happens.
Yeah. So the kind of the thing is kind of if we publish on the MicroProfile Google group, so basically it's saying you join this Google group to vote. Is there any kind of what if they don't join? Is there any bar and stop them from voting?
If they vote and they are not in the forum, the vote is void. It doesn't go through. We can push it and tweet it, it's true. However, we have a little bit over 1,200 people in the forum. So if we get, imagine 300 votes or 400 votes, right? That's a good turnout. Hold on, Ed, go ahead, you speak up.
I was just going, now my computer's going bonkers.
We have patience, don't stress.
That's okay. I was just saying, any product can make a compatibility claim. If they follow the process, there's no cost to doing that at all, right? So if somebody is just starting out, they want to make a compatibility claim about a component or two, or even the platform. There's no requirement that they be a member. There's no requirement that they have done anything other than pass the TCKs. And I think when we were having a discussion in Jakarta EE about the logo, we figured, well, that's sort of more marketing, that's sort of more branding. We figured they had, that would generally involve some, some amount of marketing, some amount of publicity on the part of the party that was seeking it. So it was okay to have a separate program that reviewed that. But there's no, if you meet all the requirements, there's no, other than meeting the requirements, there's nothing that, there's no vote, there's nothing that goes along with getting the branding. You just have to dot all the, cross all the T's and dot all the I's.
Mhm.
I thought from what Paul said earlier, is for Jakarta EE compatible logo. If you want to use it, you need to be a member.
That's true. Yes, that's one of the requirements. But
yeah,
there's no vote. There's nothing. Other than follow, checking all the boxes. There's nothing else you need to do, right?
Yes.
So it's not like it's not like there's a ballot or anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and Ed, thank you so much for the summary.
Oh, yeah. So you are talking about like how big? You are talking about is there kind of the members that have to vote the kind of compatible? I thought you have to read the issue though. For example, when we claim open liberty as a compatible implementing, you have to read the issue.
So remember that we treat them totally separately, right? One of the check boxes to use the logo is that you have a compatible product, and the way you evidence that is with the an accepted compatibility issue, right?
Yes, the community accepts.
Now, under the compatibility issue, you might get feedback about what you submitted. People will look at that and they'll look at they may look at your results. But that never happens for the logo request, right? It's just if you followed if you checked off all the items, you get to use the logo. And again, for Jakarta EE, one of those items is you have to be a member.
I understand now. Basically, what you are trying to say, you claim your compatible implementation, you go ahead to, you don't need to double check to be able to use the logo. You just go ahead to use the compatible logo, right?
Most of the time, what people are looking for is, they want their corporate logo on that compatibility page because that gives them credibility.
Correct. And that is what those requirements are what the working group needs to decide. And remember this, I'm not saying the steering committee, but maybe it will get to that. But I think we're going to, as a community, decide what to limit and why. What is the opportunity cost, right? And the discussion is going to be not as similar as what we did with compatibility and patents, with the patents, but it's going to be, it needs some consumption and understanding. And also we need some information that we might be missing. But many of us here worked on the trademarks for Jakarta, and like Ed said, there are some lessons learned from there that we can document and bring here for the consumption of everyone, so that when someone provides their opinion, they are educated as much as possible, right? That's our job. Right, Ed? Our job is to educate as much as possible. And one of the coolest things that the Jakarta Working Group did at that point, last Q1 of 2018, is we decided to make the marketing committee fully in charge of the trademarks, so that it's signed and everything. And then they would present to the steering committee progress every single other week or every week. I don't remember what we did. And then, if there was no stopping point, but we worked really, really in parallel, and it was really nice. Now, the working group, we have this call that is sometimes a one-off, and then our job is to communicate to the community call what we're doing, and then for everyone to come into the pie and say X and shape it. right? And the requirements belong to everyone, not only the marketing committee. And that is super important. And this is why this call exists today, because if anything, the designs can change and whatever, but without the requirements, no matter what we do, we will be stuck. We want to lower the bar to entry. We want people to also have a skin in the game, right? To feel, hey, I want to X. And maybe do the work now, or maybe in 3 months or later, but to protect the community with work, with actual work and code. And that happens when we push it forward. And what examples of it? Yep. So really looking forward to next Tuesday call. I hope
So
everyone
yeah.
joins after the holidays.
So the other thing is kind of probably not for this call. However, in Jakarta, there's one page to list all the compatible the runtime. So we will need to have the similar thing in MicroProfile.io to list the compatible implementations as well.
Yeah,
So
we
that
discussed
needs
it.
to be designed as well.
Yeah, we discussed it on Monday last week, that a whole page with many different things will be
Okay.
created. Many of us are part of the current shape and the first shape of the Jakarta website. The Jakarta website is fascinating because we made it with Bill Shannon, and he was super into PRs. So any member of the community, and that community can shape and help improve that page and many of the pages. And it's not really publicized as it should be, but it's really a website that is worthy of community. MicroProfile was created, the website was created in less than 2 weeks by Tommy Tribe, so it's not fully open source, but one of the things and why it's added into the plan for 2021 is that it needs to become more like the projects page and these kind of things. It needs to be more of a PR, and that is for another discussion and not in this call, but it's really important as well. And when we talked with Paul 2 weeks ago, and he presented the spreadsheet that right now everyone needs to be talking about, and I need to send to the forum. I forgot about that one, it's my bad. We need to decide what are we going to own on that and those pages, right? And clearly MicroProfile wants to own a lot of the work, but we will need to cooperate with the EMO, the Eclipse Foundation, to make sure that they do what they do. They need to check the IP, and that is current work that they do for all of the projects, right? But then we do the rest. So we just need to spread that out. But Emily, yes, we will have to do all of that. That is coming. And it's part of this process.
Okay, thanks.
So we have 8 minutes to go, and this is it. Next week we will present, and how we vote, SurveyMonkey might work or something else, but we're not going into a vote just yet. I think there is some feedback we need to provide, at least to Emerson. I have feedback
I
for him.
still think we can vote by next week.
No, we cannot. We need to present this to the community call. We cannot bypass process. We will not bypass process, and there's no rushing.
I mean, you present it to them and then you give them the link to vote.
No, that is next week is not going to be. Here is the link to vote. We are going to educate what we have achieved, and we're going to say, are any issues with this? And then if there are no issues, we go into planning for the vote. We set on that call the deadline for the vote, and then we move forward, right? That kind of thing. That is the process. Yeah, we can't just present. Like one of the things that I do the test is being informed. We need to assume that no one else is reading this, or if we send all this stuff out, but we need to be much more patient on how we distribute information. And it has been a long time anyway, since last summer. So it got mute. Yep. And next week, many of us are not going to be in the natural call, but many of you will be here. So it's on the regular call. So I will write a little bit of the minutes, a little bit more here, saying that we decided to keep it within the community. We will use Twitter and things like that, and then we will present it next week. Anything else about compatibility on this topic? Emily, are we tagged out? Yeah, I think we're tagged out. Manish, anything to say? Do you have anything further? You're good?
So
All
I
right.
think before we we need to solve the option 5 first
Yes, we know.
before the vote.
Mhm.
So what's our target date for the voting? Is it next week?
No. Next week is just present. No.
Okay.
Next
So
week.
so that means ideally we will get the option 5 sorted before next week then.
I don't think, but I think hopefully by next week, but I don't think so. Because Emerson is not a designer. And even with Ryan's help, right? Like the feedback loop is not automatic. He's really good, but it's not automatic. So we need to be patient. So I'm thinking it will be amazing if we get the vote sometime late the week of the 16th. If we get the compatibility logo done by July 30th, that would be amazing. Right? That would be amazing because then we can go into the trademarks. We will have, at the same time, we have the vote.
I still think that's just way, I mean, that's even 1 month from now.
Yeah,
I'd like
but
to get this off our plate and get it out to people. It's not going to change
know.
so much. It's been like this for 2 weeks now.
I know.
Can we just push it to the community and get it out there so we can move
Nope.
on?
We cannot. We
Yeah.
cannot skip process. So we will.
It isn't skipping a process. It's just telling the one person that he's had a comments in there for over 5 days or a little more.
Okay.
We need to make some adjustments, and if he doesn't want to make the adjustments, then we'll move to the next thing.
Can we?
Yeah, I think
if we're talking about Emerson, but you didn't say remove the ping. Emily, I think is going to say, can you remove the ping? And he will say yes or no, and then we can go forward. Emerson needs to speak up and say what he wants with his design. At the moment, it's his design. Once the design goes into a vote, it's no longer his design. He has no control over. We take control over, the community takes control over, and we can adjust it as we see fit, right? We're not there yet. And let's ping Emerson again. Emerson, like Emily, you said you will go in there. So I will not go in there. And you and I have the same feedback. I do want that ping removed, but if you send it, that's great. And then we move forward.
So,
next week we present it to the community.
Yeah.
And then the target is to have a compatible logo by the end of the month. And the vote can be like 10 days, 10 work days, or working days or something like this.
Right. So the reason I'm saying that is because the photo 1, MicroProfile photo 1 is targeting in July. So hopefully by the time the photo 1 released, and then we have the logo as well.
It's not going to be ready. It's not going to be ready because it's legal, and legal takes time. And Paul is here,
Right.
but I'm not going to even
or
ask.
At least submitted to be approved. Otherwise it's dragging along. But I think so far is good progress. It's pretty much most of the things are there. It's just a one tiny thing. So maybe it's just
Yeah. But
that sorted.
So first I want to thank Ryan for educating and creating these slides that are with the template, because that is something amazing that we didn't choose to do on the Jakarta side. We just added things and didn't educate anyone. We just did it, that kind of thing. But it is important to us that we're a little bit patient. Last week, we were not able to present this project, this progress and the community call because we talked about the releases. Emily, I know you're concerned because of you want for the release to have the compatibility logo. No, the release is not going to have the compatibility logo. I can say it flat out because legal takes time. We're not going to overpay to rush it, and we want things to be done right. So there will be no compatibility logo with the latest release. They will happen early July. And if you know that, then everyone else will know it too, because you work with every coder as well, and then there will be no issue, right? But if you're thinking that this will happen, then you will be frustrated because you don't see progress. So we need to back off a little bit and say, hey, we're not going to have it, and I'm okay with this, like because of X, right? You need to be able to explain it to everyone, not only in this call, but the people actually doing writing the code.
Okay, how long the legal will approve it? So
we don't ask. This is all about the EMO and the trademark team. We let them do their work, and they will inform us.
Yeah. So Paul, do you have a rough guess?
Yeah, so we started work on it on the trademark license agreement last week. so that we're making progress. We're starting to move. The key thing here is the definition of compatibility, and that will tie to the platform specification, which is currently being worked. And if there are changes that are going into the trademark guidelines, then that may also affect what we do. So we were assuming that what was in the trademark guidelines document was close to how it would turn out. If it's not, then that will affect it will affect things. So I mean, what's in the trademark guidelines today, as Amelia pointed out, is pretty close to what was done with Jakarta. As you deviate from that, then that can and will have a ripple effect.
Correct. And we will adjust it, like Paul said. Paul, I didn't know you started working on that. May I ask that if your team is going to do the work, for you to tell us, hey, is this okay for us to start doing this work? Because the trademark, when you sent us the Git ticket last week, I thought it was just that you were revising it, but not that your team was working on it. The trademark is not finalized because we haven't decided on the requirements of compatibility.
Well, we did go through that document on this call, and based on input I was getting, I was understanding that July was you're driving towards July in order to have compatible products. So if you're going to have compatible products in July, then what's there needs to get locked in, pretty darn quick if we're going to be able to meet that date. And the more we deviate from what Jakarta did, the more path link we will have.
Tell me something, Paul.
I've got to drop, unfortunately. I'm now late for another call. Thanks so much.
Oh, yeah, it's 11:01. Yeah, go ahead. So now we know, like, they started working, but we didn't know. And we haven't decided who is going to be requirement. So that is, we missed the mark on that because lack of communication. So we will have to fix this, and we will fix it on next week's call and the community call, and catch up to make sure that we do that work.
Yeah, I think it makes sense because they do some prep and alongside with us, and bear in mind that things will change.
Yeah.
So,
they are used to it. It's very fluid. It's just that we didn't know they started legal. And what I wanted to make sure is that money is not expense. It's spent without us knowing the money is being spent, because we have 40K and we do want that money back into the community, right? There are so many things here at play. But it's 11:01. We have to go. Thanks everyone for joining, and see you on Tuesday next week. Bye, everyone.
Great. Bye. Take care.
Those of you joining on Monday, have fun. Bye.
Yeah.